guys, welcome to Ask Pastor Sharon again. It's so good to have you in my home again today. We have a question from Jennifer from Phoenix, Arizona. She says, I am a 28-year-old single mother raising two kids, ages 6, my son, and ages 4, my daughter. My mom and dad divorced when I was 10 years old. I don't know why he left, and my mom has never encouraged me to reach out to him. My mom is afraid that my dad will break my heart like he broke hers. I miss my dad very much, and holidays like Father's Day cause old hurts to come to the surface. Should I reach out to my dad or continue living life without my father? Great question, Jennifer. This is something that plagues lots of people. So even though I'm answering this for Jennifer, I think I'm going to be answering this for several of you. So, first of all, I want to commend you for raising your two sons as a single mother. That's tough. That's tough. And in the absence of your own father, I know that also brings up some hurts and some pains of the past. But I'm just grateful that you stayed and that you're being the best mother that you can be to these boys. And hopefully they have uncles and maybe your brother or someone that could be there to help pour into their life. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about your dynamics as a child. Okay, your mom and dad divorced when you were 10. That's traumatic in itself. And I don't know if you ever got any help or any counseling or anything. A lot of times kids don't. Mom and dad divorce and the kids are left to put the puzzle back together. Not always fair, but it is reality. So your mom and your dad divorced. Sometimes, as mothers, we get in our feelings and we then take the kids away from dad. It's not smart. Now here's a caveat. Now, if he's a criminal, he's out doing bad behavior and things like this, maybe his lifestyle isn't conducive to raising children or having your kids around him. I understand that. But let's just look at it and examine. Say he's a normal guy, a normal good dad. Okay? In a situation like that, I don't know why your mom never encouraged you to reach out to him, but I'm glad that you're considering it today because all kids actually need their father in their lives. If, again, he's a good dude, okay? So, number one, I would probably talk to my mom just out of respect. Because if mom finds out that you're reaching out to your dad, it could bring a little bit of contention between you and her. And, she was there and she raised you. But you're an adult now, so you can make this decision. But it is just a respectful thing to let mom know that, hey, I'm thinking about reaching out to my dad just to kind of have that relationship because it sounds like you're longing for that. And that's understandable. My dad was actually murdered when I was 2, so I never got a chance to have that relationship. So with any of my friends, if they have a father that's out there, I've always encouraged them to reach out to him. Because I think somewhere along the way there could be something missing. I was blessed to have a grandfather and uncles that poured into my life, so I never felt like I was missing anything. But when the father-daughter dance comes along, about 6th or 7th grade, that's when I really recognized that he wasn't there. But, just a little bit of my stuff because, sometimes people never know where I've been. So I've been through that. So I know what that hurt and the lack of a father can do and how it can make you feel. But I commend you for seeking him. So we need to deal with a goal here. Let's look for forgiveness, healing, and emotional restoration. That's what I want for you. Okay, so first of all, say you reach out and you meet him. But you got to guard your heart because you never know the situation and you don't ever want to fall into a situation where you're hurt worse after this encounter. So kind of prepare yourself, guard your heart for what could happen. Okay? So you meet him. And let's say you find out that his lifestyle isn't something that you want your kids around, or maybe something that you don't want to be around. So then at least you know that you took a step of faith and you put yourself out there and you try to build a relationship with him, but maybe it doesn't work, and that's okay. So don't beat yourself up for that if it doesn't work out. Number 2, maybe you reach out and then he acknowledges his love for you. That maybe it was your mother that kept you from him. That happens a lot, And sometimes moms will plant that seed about the dad, and the dad is over there, longing to be with you as well. So let's imagine that happens, and you guys get together and you start, calling each other. Maybe if you find you're in the same city, you're going to lunch or something like this. But I would say, don't bring the kiddos in right away. You need to establish that relationship with your dad before grandpa becomes to be a part of your kid's life. I'm always going to be the one looking out for the kiddos because you really don't know his lifestyle yet. But you reach out and try to build that relationship and let him know that, hey, I would love to have a relationship with you. But you're the adult, so you can determine how often that is, um, and maybe his situation. You know, maybe he would say, "I'd like to come by for dinner" or something like that. But I'd start at Starbucks first before I bring him to my house. Okay, just a little food for thought. Number three, maybe you attempt to contact him and he's moved on with another wife and another life, and maybe he doesn't want to have a relationship with you. Prepare yourself for that, because that could be the situation as well. Because if your mom and dad broke up when you were 10, this is 18 years later. Most men will remarry, so he may have another life, other children. You could have siblings that you don't know anything about. So just prepare yourself for that, because you never know how that's going to turn out, okay? Remember, you're in control, and the ultimate decision in this relationship lies with you. You can be as active in it, or you can be, as standoffish as you'd like to be. But it's your call. Allow your heart to be healed. Cry, do whatever you need to do, especially if it doesn't work out. But commend yourself for taking that step of faith to try to bridge that gap between you and your dad. Your emotional restoration is key, because after it's all said and done, regardless of which scenario plays out in your life, you can look back and say, I tried. And then if it doesn't work out, dust your feet off and keep it moving, girl, because you're doing good. You got 2 boys that you're going to raise, and you continue to be present in their lives. And if the situation is such that their dad is, again, not a bad influence, then you have that same obligation to try to help them have a relationship with their dad. It's important. Okay? Thank you, Jennifer. And I hope those of you that have been listening got something from that. Because, dads play a big, big part in the home. For the father, for the son, he teaches him how to be a man. How to handle business, how to be a man of God, or at least a good citizen, to be able to run his house and to be able to pay bills on time and all those types of things, how to buy his first car and all of these things, how to do yard work. But for a girl, he is the first example of what a good man should be. And so be there. Be present in your daughter's life. Tell them how beautiful they are. Tell them that they're wonderful. Tell them that they are the best thing since sliced bread. Make them feel like the princess that they are. Because if you don't, there's some joker out there that will. And he'll identify her as a broken young lady that didn't have her dad. So I just commend all the fathers. I know Father's Day was the other weekend, and I really want to say shout out to the dads out there that stayed, the ones that stayed and that poured into their kids' life, because you are important. So you remember that. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in to Ask Pastor Sharon today. Subscribe, hit the button there, subscribe. Send me some questions, guys. Come on, send some questions. I'm ready. I'm anxious. I'm ready to answer those questions for you, and I'm just excited. I'm excited, okay? So, askpastorsharon@gmail.com. Send your questions in. I'm anxiously awaiting to answer them for you, and I hope you have a glorious day. And remember, you know it, say it with me. Come on. Whatever you do it with class. Be blessed. Hey, you're still there. I just finished up an episode of Ask Pastor Sharon, and I was sitting here scrolling on my iPad, and there's something else I'd like to talk about. We've all been quarantined. We've kind of been in our houses trying to stay away from the coronavirus. But what it has done, it's caused an influx of domestic violence. Because we are now in our homes with husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, for long periods of time, times when we're not able to go out to work, we're trying to work from home and all those types of things. And so we have a rise in domestic violence. Maybe you don't know you're involved in a domestic relationship. Maybe you don't know what the telltale signs are. If I was to ask you today what domestic violence is, most of you would probably say it's when someone hits you. If they give you a black eye or they push you down. And that is true, but that is not all. There's so much more to it than that. So I'd like to invite you to meet me right here on July 7th. It's a Tuesday night. Clear your calendar. So we can talk about it. I'm going to go Facebook Live, and we're going to talk about what are the warning signs of a domestic relationship. Because I like to warn you before it gets to a place where it's too late and you can't get out. So listen again, Tuesday, July 7th, 7 p.m. Meet me here and let's talk about it. Okay? Take care of yourself.